What's up, guys? Welcome back to Worth the Wait. I am your host, Cookie Miller, and I am so excited to have my client, my friend, Whitney Charles, here with us to discuss her journey. I thought Whitney would be the perfect person to help us round out season 2. She has just impressed me ever since she started with me at the beginning of this year. I think you guys are going to be incredibly inspired by her story, her realness, her depth, and who she is as a person. So Whitney, thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I know.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
This is my heart right here. I love this girl. And this all started because we had a coaching call, I don't know, maybe it's been over a month ago now. Mm-hmm. And on that call, even though we had already met and, obviously we'd worked together, I feel like I got to know Whitney even more. And it made me like her even more. And I was so nervous to ask because usually I like someone to be with me for maybe 6 months before I start asking for favors. But I was like, Whitney would be great. So she agreed to be here. So she's going to tell us a little bit about her story. So why don't we go back to December and you can tell me where you were when you first even thought about joining and maybe some lessons that you've learned so far.
So back December, a lot of things were happening internally that I knew I wanted to change going into 2022. For the longest, I've always been like, I want to lose weight. I need to lose weight. Prior to COVID, I've always been, the chubby friend or the bigger girl, or, I've always been that girl. And going into 2022, I was like, wow, 2 years literally have flown by, right? 2020, 2021. And I always said to myself, later on in 2020 and in 2021, I was like, Whitney, if you don't lose weight while you're working from home, it's your fault, right? Because I have no excuse now. There's no commute. There's no going into the office. There's no trying to run to the gym after work. I'm like, if you don't make a change and you wasted these 2 years, then that's on you. So during those 2 years, I was on and off. Oh, I'm gonna work out. Oh, I'm gonna eat good. Then fall off. You do it all again and everything. And was on Instagram and just came across your post. And I was just like, I had been following you for a while now and saw your journey and what you've done, for yourself. And I was kind of like, should I? Because I had done 2021, I had done this group that did keto. I did that. And that was restrictive, I thought, for me. And then I also tried to do Weight Watchers. And I say try because I really didn't give 100%. I was just like, oh, let me download it on the app. I'll do this. And I was just like, I didn't fully commit. Right. And then I was just like, you know what, let me just sign up and see what happens, what's bad that could happen. And, you reached out to me and we had a call and I knew I was serious this time. And I wanted to be held accountable. I wanted to work with someone that preferably was a Black woman, a woman of color. Because the struggles that happen in, our community as far as what we like to eat and, all those kind of things. And I really wanted to not only make a change for weight, but I just wanted to focus on myself going into 2022. So that's personal, self-care, professional, relationship-wise, all that stuff. I wanted a change. And among other things, I just felt like, the saying of you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different, different change or different, things to be different. So that's kind of how I looked at everything in my life. And that's what brought me to you. And, I feel like we clicked when we first got on the phone and I was excited. Yeah, exactly.
Day one.
I was excited.
Day one. Yeah, it's not that often that I get off of a call with someone and then I have to tell one of my family members or something about them, right?
Yeah.
But that happened with you. I was like, this girl, I don't know, she's great. And she's so funny. Let me tell y'all a quick story so you can understand how funny Whitney is.
I don't know.
Don't know her. Do not know her at all. Just met this girl on Instagram. I'm going to help her with her weight loss. Don't know too much. It's very professional at this point, right? And so on my well, y'all know I'm not on Instagram right now, right? Okay.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, I have been. Yeah, I've been deactivated on Instagram for maybe a month now.
By choice or because
by choice?
Okay.
By choice.
Okay, by choice.
That's a whole other conversation.
That
Maybe
is
we'll get back to that when we talk about mental health. And so on my Instagram story, when someone joins, I'll go like I have a little welcome message. So I ask new people to send me a selfie. I take the selfie, I put it in the welcome message, and like everyone responds, and they're like, "Oh, it's so cool. This person's joined." So this one lady joined, and at the time I don't know what she was doing, but she couldn't send me a picture. And it was the end of this big, like, I did a big push for a lot of clients. So it was like, I wanted them to know all the spots are gone. And the last lady, I just put a little smiley face. And Whitney responded to the story and was like, let's call her Shelly. And she was like, so Shelly don't have a picture? And I was like, it was just what made it so funny is just that we had just met. It's the context that made it so funny. And I was like, this girl is hilarious. And she's so bold and she'll just say anything.
Yeah.
She says the things that everyone else is thinking.
Yeah. Usually that's kind of how it happens in my friend group, in my professional group. Yeah. I mean, people are always like, Whitney, you're so sassy. You're so this, you're so that. And I'm just like, I feel like, you come to a certain age where, when they say like older people don't care anymore, like you come to a certain age where, not that I don't care, but it's kind of like, it is what it is. Like we were all, that's the first thing I saw. Like I saw all the other women. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was just like, oh, so you don't have a picture? Like what happened? You don't have not one picture? So, no harm though. I was, only being playful. So.
I know. And it was so funny. So when we think back on that time, it's funny because you mentioned like you wanted a change in career, you wanted to change in relationships. And the crazy thing is like all of those things have changed, including your health. So from a health perspective, what would you say is your biggest win so far?
From a health perspective, I mean, I don't want to brag or whatever, but I did lose 20 pounds. That was a big win. I don't know. I'm such a weirdo. Like when I achieve certain things, I don't know how to really like be happy for myself. Like I just do it. And again, like I said, that goes in with how I am when it comes to like when I was in college or like just my like when I do things, I'm just like, okay, I did it, but I don't know how to be like, yeah, I did it. Like, so even when I did lose the 20 pounds, I was excited. And when we had like, you had the check-in call, I was excited and was smiling while you were talking, but it was just, I don't know, sometimes I have to sit with myself and kind of just really think about where I've been and where I am now to really like hone in on like, yeah, I did it. But that like first reaction is just like, oh, I lost 20 pounds. Did I really lose 20 pounds? Is this scale correct? Like, that's literally how I'm thinking. Like, that's how I'm thinking. Like, no, this is too good to be true. Like, no. But aside from that, that's a big one. But the biggest one for me is just, and it's always been this, is consistency. Like, that is just the number one thing is consistency. And I think as I've been going through this process, I'm not a huge religious person or anything like that, but I do pray. And I remember, I think it was like in January, right before I started this program. And I'm usually a procrastinator. I can be a very lazy person when it comes to the weekend, like, laying in bed, roll out, get something to eat, get back in bed, just don't do anything. And I remember praying like, God, please just rid me of laziness, rid me of procrastination. Like, push me to be consistent because I want to be the better version of myself. So I am proud of myself that I've been consistent through this whole process. No matter what is going on in my life, I always show up for myself. And I can't say I've done that before, really. So I feel like that's been my biggest win, is just me being consistent. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to be consistent. And I said this in one of my check-ins with you, and I don't know if you remember, but I said it's easy to lose weight. Like, we all know what to do to lose weight, right?
I remember.
You gotta exercise, you gotta, eat right. Yeah, we all know that. It's not rocket science. The hard part is your mindset. It's the consistency. Is your mindset to say, no, keep going, or, okay, I ate bad today, but tomorrow's a new day, let's start over. It's not, I ate bad today, well, I might as well just give it up and keep doing what I'm doing tomorrow, or, whatever. Or I felt depressed or down today and I ate a whole, bag of chips or something, so I might as well just forget it now. Like that, because that's where I was. It's like, I messed up, forget it, count me out. And I think, having that mindset is the hard part, to keep going and being consistent even when you don't want to.
That's the key. People always want to know what the key is. How have you kept the weight off for so long? It's boring. It's very boring. It's not what you think. Not like some crazy, I do juicing this every so often, or I know. It's just like being able, like you said, to have a day where you're off or whatever and be able to get right back into it. That's the key.
That is the key. Yeah. Because people always say, well, what's your secret? When people lose weight, tell me the secret. And there is no secret. It's just being consistent in what you're doing and being consistent in your good habits. Of course, we all have our little bad habits, but not letting the bad habits overtake the good ones. Exactly. So that part is what I'm very like I told you the last check-in, like it's becoming second nature when it's like I just get up and like, all right, I'm gonna have a shake, and in my head I'm like, okay, for lunch I'm gonna have this salad, or for dinner I already, I made salmon last night, I'm gonna have that, and I know I got those vegetables. It's just like, it's that, and that helps with consistency. But of course, you have to get to that point of second nature. So
and you had like such a just insane amount of changes in your life, like through this whole thing. So many transitional kind of like moments happened. Things that honestly I've had past clients where they've had these things happen and they'll tell me, hey, I need to take a break. Or they ghost, because some people tend to go into that hermit mode when they go through things. But it seems like you've taken all of those things and used them as fuel. So where did that come from? I don't know if you want to talk about any of those transitions, but how were you able to do that and still be consistent and reach this goal of 20 pounds so far? I think number one is realizing that whatever habits you might have, no matter, or whatever you're comfortable with, that sometimes those are the things that hinder you from getting to where you want to be. And I think I learned that, and I'm continuing to learn that. And that's the biggest thing I learned. And I'm saying that because, I will share, yes, I was in a 10-year relationship, and, we were together, and, as most couples do, you like to go out, you like to eat, you like to, you have the dessert, you like to do the Netflix and chill. We'll be eating tonight. Let's find something to watch. And then you find yourself just on the couch all day, every day, every night. And I, sit at a desk most of the time, whereas he's, 6'4", 200 and something pounds, goes to work every single day, goes to the gym every single day. He can eat what he wants. And I'm the girlfriend that's just like, yeah, give me more. But I'm sitting all day, right? And he's like, oh, I can't eat with you. Like, you don't eat everything. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep up with him, right? I'm eating 2 cheeseburgers and fries to keep up with him, knowing I don't normally eat 2 cheeseburgers. Like, I don't do that. But because you're enjoying each other's company and you're doing all these things, that's how you come together. And we mentioned this on the call that we had, when we go out with for most predominantly the Black community, when we celebrate, what do? We go out to eat. Let's go out to eat. Let's go out to eat. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, we're going out to eat, right? Everything.
Everything's centered around food. And so I am recently single, and with this journey that I'm on, I've been realizing that I couldn't be where I am right now if I was still with him.
Wow.
Not only just because of the weight loss. It was, of course, there's other factors, but I feel like we were each other's crutches, and I was his crutch in one way, and he was my crutch as far as being comfortable. And this might not too much information, but I used to have these thoughts like, I know I don't like the way my body looks, but I'm like, he's still attracted to me, so I guess it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So again, that comfortable of, we've been together long enough. If he's accepting me this way, then I must be fine. I must still be attractive, you know, that kind of thing. So I think it's that comfort, what I'm used to, that was keeping me in that position. Even though I was trying here and there, I got to exercise, but it wasn't enough to get me to where I wanted to be or where I am now. So I feel like I said, there's certain things, whether that be people, friends, family, you know, relationships, that you might have to let go to get to where you want to be. And I had to, like I said, this is something that I'm realizing as I'm here. And the same thing as far as my professional career, you know, I've been trying to like interview and pivot and move and stuff. And, you know, you get rejection after rejection. And the one thing that I said to myself, I said, well, you know what is going right in my life? This weight loss journey I'm on is going right. Yeah. So I'm going to continue to push forward on that and continue to pour into that, because I'm doing it for myself. And I am happy at my results. I'm happy at what I'm doing every week. I'm happy at the check-ins. I'm happy at, you know, trying different foods or, you know, doing different things. So that worked for me. So I felt the need to pour into that instead of saying, oh, I'm newly single. Oh, I'm not where I want to be, you know, professionally. Now this weight thing, I can't handle all this. I don't want to do it. You know, it's too much. It was just like, no, this is what's working for me. So I'm going to pour into that and make sure I get up every single day and do my workouts or drink my water and whatever, because essentially it's for me and nobody else. So that's kind of what keeps me, going and motivated. And, you know, when you start to see the changes, no matter how small they are, I feel like for me, that's another thing that's like, well, I want more. I want to see how far I can push myself. I want to see, you know, how much more tone can I get, or how much smaller can I get, or whatnot. So that's what keeps me motivated. I think you have to put yourself first, definitely, than anything or anybody else.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think our first meeting of the year, as far as like our group meeting, was about self-sabotage. And I turned that into a podcast. So for anyone who's listening, I think that was maybe 2 or 3 podcasts ago. You can go back and listen to self-sabotage. But in that, you know, when we had that meeting, I talked about there being this fear, right? There's usually a fear that is causing you to self-sabotage. And sometimes that fear can be, who am I going to be when I lose this weight? Because we all know that in order to go through this journey, even if you've never been through it before, you know, like something about me is going to have to really change. I have to change inside. And when I change, how is that going to impact everything externally? My relationships, my job, right? So there becomes this fear of like really unleashing your own power and your own greatness. And it may not be conscious, it can be subconscious, but it can definitely be there, right? Because there has to be, even in hindsight, when you think about it, you know, there's so many things that can happen in a 10-year span of a relationship, but there has to be some things where you were like, oh, like with the fitness, for example, this is why I couldn't grow in that area. Oh, I see why this had to end in order for me to be able to have this new beginning, right? Yeah. And then you go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, it's fine. Go ahead. You start to see, like I said, that it's more than what you think it is, right? Like I thought when I ended my relationship, it was based on these things. This is why this can no longer work for me. Not realizing, well, now weight loss was never a part of it. Like it was never. That's not the reason why we broke up. Like weight loss was never a part of it. But coming out on the outside, it was just like, I can't even tell you. Like I was thinking about, you know, I've been thinking about doing the podcast, and you know, so many things that I just want to say, but I feel like I've honestly been the happiest that I've been as like an adult. In a real long time with myself. Like, you know, normally I am happy, but I'm saying like, it's just like happy with myself, in a very long time. And, I'm always the type of person that believes, you know, you create your own happiness. Like I'll never get into a relationship because it's like, oh, you make me happy. You complete me. Let's get together. Like, no, like I'm not that person. Like I like to be
happy, content, and complete on my own, and then you add to value to the relationship together. But yeah, I mean, I was happy in my relationship, but it's definitely different. It's a different feeling. I'm finally doing something for myself. We can call it selfish, but I'm finally like focusing on what I want to do and in all aspects of my life. And I don't have to worry about somebody else, whether it's their opinion, whether it's, how they feel about things. It's just, I'm focused on me and being a better version of myself. And like I said, you may cut friends off and relationships off for certain factors. And then when you get to the other side, you're like, I wouldn't be able to do this if I was still friends with that person or still with this one, or if I still allowed that toxic family member to, make comments about every time, I go back for extra something for Thanksgiving or whatever the, case is. So and I'm not saying it's like it's some easy thing to cut people off. No, not at all. But because that was a process. It wasn't. It sure was a 2-year process to end that relationship. Because you're comfortable and it's nothing like being with somebody that you're comfortable, that knows you and you know them. But like I said, for the betterment of yourself, then if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do,
Yeah. When you were talking about being happy, you clarified that you meant like being outwardly happy versus being internally happy with yourself. Uh-huh. That was interesting that you clarified it, because when I met you, my first impression was probably what everybody who's listening or watching is thinking, like, oh my gosh, she's so bubbly and high energy and happy. Everybody always thinks that. Yeah. Right. And when we had that coaching call was when you pretty much told me like, that's like an outward thing, but you have actually had some struggles. Yep. I've talked openly on the internet since 2014, at least, about my own struggles with depression. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about that? And even if you care to share where you are in your journey now? Definitely. It's something that's definitely close to my heart. I was diagnosed with clinical depression when I was about 19, 20 years old, and I was in my second semester of college. And, I usually use this terminology that I went to bed one night and the next night I woke up as if somebody turned the lights out. Like I just was like lost. Like I was in a dark space, couldn't find the light, don't know why the light went out, what happened, how did I get here, why am I here, what did I do wrong? Like literally that's how it was. And I woke up, at college, in school, in my dorm room, and I just started having these thoughts that I just was like, what? Like, why are you thinking like this? Where is this even coming from, right? And just to even bring it back, actually, the crazy part is these things started my freshman year, but I didn't even know symptoms. I didn't know what that looked like. Yeah. But knowing the symptoms that I had in my junior year, I had those same symptoms in my freshman and sophomore year, but did not know that's what it was. And when I say symptoms, I mean things like not being able to eat, eating and like throwing up afterwards, having like intrusive bad thoughts, like all those things were happening, but you kind of just brushed it off and, went to class, went out to party, and it kind of came to a head my junior year. And it was just like, no, like it stuck. Like it wasn't something that just passed and went on. Like this time it stuck. And I remember going home, my best friend and her parents came and got us. And I remember going home. And I was scared because I was just like, how can I stay? It was for Thanksgiving break. Okay. I was like, how can I stay home for this amount of time? Like my mom and my parents are going to know there's a difference in me. Like how am I going to get through this? And again, I'm putting on a happy face. Oh, happy to be home. Da 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 da. And that was another symptom that I had too. I could not sleep at night. I was not sleeping at night, but I was sleeping during the day. And I was actually sleeping in my classes. I've never fallen asleep in a class before, ever. And I literally was falling asleep in class. I fell asleep one time in my room and I missed work. That had never happened because I wasn't sleeping at night. Yeah. Get home, try to act like everything's all good. And I slept most of the time. And that wasn't
unlikely of me, because when I was in high school, that's what I did. Like, I slept till like noon and woke up. And so my mom she was used to that. So it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Like, well, why is you sleeping so late? So that was, nobody thought anything of it. And again, I was like shaking at night when I was trying to go to sleep. I was crying. I couldn't eat. And I was just like, I have to tell my mom. Like, I can't, like, I'm very close to my mother. And I was just like, I can't act like nothing's wrong. And, I went to my mom and I told her what was going on and stuff like that. And she was like, well, Whitney, why are you thinking like this? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. It just happened out of nowhere. I have no idea. And I literally I would sleep in the bed with my mom at night, because it was like comforting to like have somebody there. It was like a comfort. And again, I couldn't eat. I was like cold sweats. I was shaking, everything like that. And then, one night I got up and my stepdad was on the couch, and I go to him and I was just like, I can't sleep. And, he's sitting there and stuff. And I say to him, I'll never forget this, but I say to him, my parents have a balcony, like a terrace, in their house. And I was just like, I just want to jump off that balcony right now and just end this. Like, I just want this to be over, because I just was like, I can't take this.
Yeah.
And my stepdad said to me, if you ever did something like that, you and me and your mother, like, would not know what to do with ourselves. Like, we would just not know how to even move on or anything. And that's the thing that stuck with me to never take it there.
Yeah.
Was because I know when I see other individuals who do take it there, and my mom's like, well, why didn't they go to someone for help? Why didn't they ask? Why didn't they do?
Yeah.
And my mom's always like, Whitney, if you did something like that, they might as well put me away somewhere, because I'm never going to be, so I always think, like, I never want to break my mom's heart. I don't want her to have to live knowing I did something like that. So that's what always stuck with me, never to take it there. But I definitely was, suicidal, had suicidal thoughts, went to a psychiatric hospital. I've been hospitalized twice, was on medication, all that stuff. So again, when people see me and say, oh, you're so happy, you're so bubbly, da, 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 and then when I tell them that, they're like, you? And I'm just like, yeah, there's no face to this. There's no, well, you look normal, because that was the thing. When I went to the hospital, I was the youngest person on the floor. And I remember this male nurse came to me and was just like, why are you here? He was just like, please tell me you're not here for a man. And I kind of was like offended, because I was just like, really? You think, like, I mean, not to say that some people can't be, but I'm just like, that's what you think? So, but yeah, I was the youngest person. Everybody thought I was just so normal, because, I wasn't going around talking to myself. I didn't have like a drug issue. I just was just like, I don't know why this happened to me. Like, I'm here, but I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm like y'all too. I mean, we just have different symptoms. I'm no different.
Well, we could even say, Whitney, that you were being proactive. So perhaps this is how these things start.
Right.
When it's not that serious, or you're not as bad as how these other people are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't start there.
Right.
So you going to get help early is probably why you are where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mother is like, my mother does not play about her kids. So
I know.
It was like, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm going to get on this computer and we're going to find help. We're going to find somebody. Yep. I don't know, but we're going to figure this out. And that is like my mother. And I went to, and it was crazy. The first night I stayed in the hospital, that's another thing. Thanksgiving at that time for a while was triggering for me, because that was the first time I had been in a hospital and celebrated Thanksgiving with strangers like that I didn't know. I wasn't at home. I was having Thanksgiving in a psychiatric hospital. So for years after that, that kind of was a little triggering for me. But somebody said something to me and it changed the way I started to think about it. But I can't remember, but it definitely changed the way I started to think about Thanksgiving and just moving forward and stuff like that. But that first night was the first night I had a good night's sleep in like months. Yeah. And I think was because I felt safe. I felt I can't do anything here. There's people here to protect me. I can't harm myself. I can't harm other people. Like there's people here that are professional to protect me and keep me okay. Whereas at home, you don't know what you could do or stuff like that. And that was the first night I literally went to sleep and slept easy, and then get your talk to doctors and all that kind of stuff. But where I am now, boy.
Well, wait, Whitney.
Oh,
how long were you there?
I was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I was there for 2 weeks. And one thing is, people don't know about me. My friends, this one friend in particular, she'll say, Whitney will make a friend anywhere. And that is me. I'm the person in the psychiatric hospital making friends with people and being like, these people are great. Like, you know, not like being like, I know you guys feel a hard times or whatever, but she's funny and she has a daughter and this one's like, you know, and you're like exchanging numbers. Bye, God. You know, it's like, I'm that person because I don't know. I'm just that person. But I was there for 2 weeks.
Wait, do you still have a homegirl?
No, you know how that goes when you meet people and you kind of like fall out of touch. But for a while, we like, you know, kept in touch and everything like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, it's crazy. And I was there for 2 weeks, got the treatment that I needed, came home. And that was another thing about me, how my mind works. I'm always thinking about another thing, never really thinking about myself, just thinking about what I should be doing for other people. While I was in that hospital, my mom was like, well, what if you can't go back to college? What if you can't, you got to take a year off? And while I'm here, I'm like, I can't take a year off. I got to graduate on time. I got to graduate with my friends. I got midterms. I got finals. And it's like, who thinks of that in the situation? You know, like I'd be in the hospital somewhere thinking about, oh, my job and this and that. And it's kind of like, I'm in that space now. Like I would never think that way now. But back then, 1920, I'm like, no, I got to finish my exams and I got to do this. But I did go back to school the following semester. Graduating on time. My mom and you know, my advisors had conversations and they let me take my finals from my previous semester and everything worked out that way. But it was definitely one of those things, I would say, the most traumatic experience I've ever experienced in my life. And I honestly did not think I would be here right now. I could not see past the day that I was in. You know, I was 19 years old. I didn't think I was going to make it to 21, let alone 25, let alone 35. Like, I did not see a future for myself at all. Like, that's how dark and painful it is that you can't even see past the day that you're living in. Yeah. And I empathize with people that, you know, sadly do take it there and do take their lives because that's how you feel. That's how bad it is when it's just like, I just want this to be over. Like, I don't, you're not even caring about who you hurt, who you leaving behind, or children. That does not matter anymore. You just want this pain to go away. Yeah. But I'm glad mental health is becoming less taboo and more spoken about, and people, you know, feel comfortable to get help and go to therapy. I've been seeing my therapist since I was about 22, 23 years old.
Wow.
And the thing about therapy I want to say is therapy is not only for when you're going through something. You can still see a therapist for when you're happy and things are going good in your life. You know, It's not always about things are bad, I need to see a therapist. You could still see a therapist just because you want to talk things out and want a different perspective. And, you know, every 2 weeks I talk to my therapist. 1 minute I'm like, oh my God, I got another rejection for a job, or I'm lonely and should I reach out to him? And then, you know, and then the next week I'm like, I'm doing great. This is the best week ever. So you never know, like every week is something different. So, you know, that person is there to help you along the way, no matter what part of life you're in, you know, what part of your journey in. So don't ever look at therapy as like, oh, it's for crazy people or it's for people that need help or mental, you know, it's for everybody, you know, everyone.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think it is a big misconception. Well, one, it's good that therapy isn't taboo anymore. But two, there is a big misconception that you must be actively in a crisis in order to see a therapist. Right. And that is so detrimental because it'll leave people waiting and waiting and waiting until they are in crisis to reach out. And the way things are now, y'all, post 2020, people are getting in therapy. So listen, if everything's good with you right now, you're chill, go ahead and start looking for your therapist to cure someone, because otherwise it's going to be so difficult to find a therapist. And while we're on this topic, I want to plug therapyforblackgirls.com. It is an incredible resource. You can search through therapists there. You can search based on almost anything you can think of. So if you have insurance, if you don't have insurance, you can use all of those filtering tools, but definitely get yourself a therapist.
Yeah, it's
especially
a part of life.
Black women. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like any health. You know, you go to your physician every year, you go to your dentist, you go to whomever, your dermatologist. Like, it's a checkup. You just might do it more often than the other doctors, but it's a part of health, right? Like, it's totally normal. And like you said, you shouldn't have to be in the middle of a crisis to go and just chat with someone. So I definitely recommend it. And you find out a lot about yourself because, again, in therapy, I was just like, there's no way I could live alone. I didn't trust myself to be alone. I didn't know what I might do. And I was just like, no, like, I can't live alone. And here we are. I've been living alone 2 years, you know, and I'm absolutely loving it. And when I say that I'm happy with myself, you're gonna laugh at this, but sometimes it takes me a while to do my workouts because I have my music on, and I be dancing dancing around the living room, looking at my reflection in the TV reflection. I'm like, oh, look at me. I be looking at myself and dancing, and then I'm like, all right, and I'm like, all right, Whitney, get back to this workout.
Let me tell you, if Whitney ever allows me to share her photos, y'all are gonna be like, body, yaddy, yaddy, because Whitney has the shape, the proportions. It's what all the BBL girls are trying to do.
Boy.
But it matches. I need y'all. I gotta lean into the mic so y'all can hear me. You know, it's what all the BBL girlies are trying to do. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate it. Yes, and you saying that is another thing that I think about, because we had that conversation in the first call, and you was like, "What is your goal, or what is your ideal body?" And a lot of times when we're asked that, we're picking out celebrities and who we want to look like. And I was telling you, like, I never thought about myself being my own goal, you know, of what I want to look like, because I never see myself in that light. Yeah. And when I be working out, when I be looking at this reflection and these obliques is coming in and this booty sticking out a little bit, I was just like, okay, yeah, that's me.
It's a beautiful thing, girl. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Yes. No, definitely.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because a lot of times when people are thinking about, you know, starting this journey and getting into weight loss, there's always something, right? They're like, oh, I want to start losing weight, but so busy at work, or, you know, I want to start losing weight, but this is going on with my relationship or whatever. So what would you say to those people who are waiting for the perfect time?
There is no perfect time. There's no such thing as a perfect time. Because you're going to keep making those same excuses. I mean, I was doing the same thing. You know, you're like, oh, I'll start on Monday. Oh, okay, we're, you know, Thanksgiving, I'm going to start in the new year. The new year comes. Oh, well, I mean, it's the New Year day. I mean, there's always something, right? So there's no perfect time. I remember, I think it was Will Smith who said this a long time ago, and it was just like, why do we wait for New Year's to start new things? Why can't we just start tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Because, you know, new starts of the new year, the new week makes us feel like we're starting fresh. But, like, honestly, every day is starting over and starting fresh when you think about it. Yeah. And I was kind of like, you're right. We don't have to wait till the new year to start new habits or to do new things. But yeah, no, there is no perfect time. I've done the same thing. I'll start when this happens. I'll start when that happens. And then I start and I don't give 100%. Then I just stop. And then, 3, 4, 6 months later, you got to start all over. And the hardest part is starting over. When your body is used to working out and eating, you can keep going. Then when you off for 3, 4 months, it's like, I got to train my body again to start all over and have this momentum to keep going. I was already ahead of it 3 months ago. Had I just took one day off and kept going, I'd be further than I am. And now I have to start all over. So I don't think there's a perfect time. I think that is within you. You set when the right time is, when you're fed up or when you're tired of complaining and not doing anything about it, or you're tired of, not being able to fit into your clothes, or that's whenever. I don't think that's, a perfect time. But that's what it was for me. Mine happened to align with, New Year's. That's what it was. Like, because it was just like a lot of things that I wanted to change going into the new year. But yeah, I don't believe there's a perfect. Every day is a perfect time to start.
What? We need to. That needs to be the Motivation Monday post next week.
Yeah,
every day.
I'm telling you, every day. Yeah. And then someone had said, actually wrote this down, and they said, don't wait on your weight to live your life, right? And it's true, because you saying, I'll wait until this, I'll wait until that, that's hindering you from living also, right? That's hindering you from going on that vacation because you don't want to look a certain way in your pictures, or wearing that bathing suit because you're not where you want to be summer body ready yet. So the more you keep saying, oh, I'll wait until this, I'll wait until that, is the longer you're going to pushing it off to be who you want to be, because now you keep making excuses over and over again. And now you feel like I can't go on this trip, or I can't do this, or I can't wear that because I'm not where I want to be. So that's another thing that I tried to live by too. Like, I've definitely made progress, but even though I'm not exactly where I want to be, like, I'm still gonna enjoy the bathing suit and the trip and the pictures, and because why not? It's, I think you might have said it. It's kind of like, or we said it in our messenger group. It's kind of like, love the body that you have now. This body has taken you and supported you through whatever trials, tribulations, trauma, good times, bad times that you've been through. Like, so appreciate it now, and appreciate it on the journey that you're on or want to get on. So yeah.
It's interesting. I think all of that is really just all tied up in perfectionism. The whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason that you don't start is because you're waiting for the perfect time. Why are you waiting for the perfect time? More than likely because you plan on doing everything perfectly. Right. Because you're going to start the keto group, and you're going to do it exactly how you're supposed to do it, and you're never going to miss a day. And right. So that starts this cycle of like perfectionism versus entering into this journey thinking like, okay, I'm changing myself. Like, I am changing who I am forever.
Yeah.
So when you have the rest of your life to go through it, it takes the pressure off. It's kind of like, oh, I'm seeing these changes. I like this. I'm gonna keep going. I mean, there's no date. Whitney hasn't told me anything about, by this day, I got to wear this. No. She hasn't told me anything like that.
No.
It's just a constant, like, evolving change with life.
Yeah.
With life.
That's it. That's what I've always said. I want this to be my life. I just kind of thought about this too when people say, well, one thing I want people to know also is, like, you're not competing with anybody, right? Like, you're competing with yourself, but, like, don't compare yourself to other people. We all do it. We all scroll Instagram. I want to look like that. I want my body to look like that, blah, 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 kind of thing. But it's kind of like, once you get rid of that and accept the body that you have and work on what you have to work with and form that how you want to form it, that to me is probably the best feeling and the best confidence of, like, like, this is my body, like, natural, the way it is. Like, I worked this out. I did hard work. And I know I asked you one time in the check-in, I was like, so what about those weight loss gummies and everything like that? And you're like, oh my gosh, Whitney. And I'm like, no, not that I want to take them. I'm just like asking, like, what is it, a bad thing, or, is it good? So that's another thing where it's just like, you have these trends on social media with the gummies or the drinks and whatever and things like that. And it's no quick fix. You're not going to be eating those gummies, for 20, 30 years, are you? Like, you're not going to be drinking those shakes for 50 years. Like, that's not those. If anything, like you said, it's a quick fix for the right now. It's not something that's going to last your lifetime that you can keep up with. And then I also want to say, like, we call it a journey because, a lot of people say, oh, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but, like, marathons end too, right? So, like, journeys is an ongoing thing. You're from place to place in your life. You're from different places in your life, different ages, different things are going on in your life. So I do love to say, like, it's a journey, and that once you realize that, and that you're not competing with anybody, like, you know, take your time. And I learned from you too to be patient with myself. And yes, no week is going to be perfect. No, this is not meant to be perfect, but consistency is what I strive for. As long as I can do that, then I'm happy with, you know, my progress.
I think this is so good.
Yes, it is. I love it. I think
it's so good. Okay, so let's kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about when you were getting ready to do the program and we were on our call. What types of things were going through your head of like, right? Because we talk about the excuses you can make. Mm-hmm. So what were you thinking to get out of that? Or were you thinking anything to get out of it? What was your biggest objection?
I don't think I was thinking of anything to get out of it. I don't think I knew it would be like this. I don't think I had confidence to be this consistent. I'm kind of like show me, don't tell me kind of thing, kind of person. And I think that was it for me. It was just like, all right, girl, we signed up, we gave this girl your money. Let's hope for the best. Like, she wanted how much? Okay, well, you gave it. It's gone. You better show up. Okay. That's kind of how it was. But no, I loved your personality. And I was like, well, we could be friends. And I was like,
right?
maybe she won't want to be friends. She's going to be keeping it professional and I can't text her on the side and stuff like that. It was like more of those things. I was trying to be your friend. I wasn't even worried about the program or anything. I was like, oh, how can I be Cookie's friend? Like, I think we do. Like,
we friends, girl. We friends. Okay.
But no, I didn't have any objections. I think it was more so, I've done this before. I've tried it on my own. I've tried it with another group prior that year. And it was kind of just like, all right, Whitney, this is on you. I mean, you there's no excuse. You have a coach now. And again, like the fact that you have this app that's like your to-do list every day that you get to check off. So it's like, there's no excuses of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. I don't know what like you have this whole guidebook of like, your proteins and your veggies and like everything is broken out so nicely. And then you have the app with your you know, you do your check off, your to-do list. And it was kind of like, for me, there's no excuse now. Like if this doesn't work out, it's on you. Like I can't blame anybody else. I'm working from home. I'm single. Like there's no distractions anymore. Like, so if this doesn't work out, you just chubby and want to be chubby. So that's it. Like that's it. There's nothing else to it.
I mean,
that's it.
Oh, that's okay. Real. So it's interesting. You're saying that it was on you. Like it was just, you knew that you were making this investment. And it's like, if I don't do this, then I got to do it myself. Like it wasn't on anyone else. No,
it's and it's never on anyone else. I mean, we like to blame other things, work and, you know, and again, I want to preface this with saying that I don't want people to think, women to think that, you know, what I'm saying is so super easy, because I want to take into account that there are women who are married, there are single mothers, there's, you know, women who marry with children. So there's other things. I'm single. I don't have any kids, so I don't have those extra responsibilities. So I don't want to make it seem like, well, she's saying all this stuff, but she don't got 3 kids and she don't got a husband and she's not working 2 jobs and then got to take care of her mother. Like, I want to be aware. I'm fully aware that everyone's life is different. They have other things that they have to handle that can't make it this easy to just focus solely on themselves. But so I want women to know that. But in that same sentence, I want you to know that even if you do have those things, that you still can do this work and show up for yourself. And I feel like, you know, 30 minutes a day is better than 0 minutes a day, right? Whatever that might look like. And you'll be surprised at how much it's the small things that will bring about like the biggest change. I wasn't eating breakfast. Like, you know, I was not eating breakfast.
Y'all, it was a fight. Don't let her just pass that. It was a fight to get this girl to eat breakfast.
I wasn't eating breakfast. Like on the weekend, yes. right? But weekday with work and everything, I was just like, I'm too frazzled. I'm too, anxious. I can't sit and eat, and I was eating dinner, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And because I hadn't had anything to eat, it's like, well, pile it on. It's only one meal. It shouldn't hurt. But then what am I doing? Going to bed right after. So again, it's the little things of incorporating dinner. And like I had told you, I'm going to stop turning my computer on the first thing in the morning, because as soon as I sit down, I'm like, let me check emails, and I'm on for an hour and a half, and next thing I know, it's 12 and I haven't eaten yet. So I'm like, no, I'm going to get my shake or whatever breakfast that I have first prepared and come and sit down and then get to work. So again, it's like little things like that you have to do. And I think that also coincides with just boundaries. I think people don't think about things like that when it comes to if you're in a relationship, husband, married, kids. It's like, you do for everyone else, but you have to kind of set boundaries and be like, well, no, this is mommy's time, or this is wife's time, or girlfriend's time. And it's like, I just need 30 minutes in the morning or midday or at night to get this 30-minute workout in, or to eat this salad in peace, or whatever it is. It's about just making time for yourself. Like, that's, I feel like, is the main key, is making time for yourself and being consistent with that time. Boundaries could be a whole podcast on its own. Yeah, boundaries. So maybe we might have to do a part 2. I feel y'all let us know if y'all like this. Let us know if we should do a part 2, because I think we could definitely go into some other topics. But I want to ask you this. Now that we've kind of gone through this whole interview, if you were listening to this back in December or maybe even before, what part of your story do you think would have inspired you the most? I think I would still be skeptical. If I'm being honest, I'd be like, she don't know what she's talking about. She probably wasn't even that chubby to begin with. Like, that would be my first thought. Like, girl, whatever. The first thing I would think about. Like, we heard it all before. For the people that lost weight, they say how easy it is. Like, that's literally what I would be thinking, because that's how I am. But I think the part that would inspire me is that I'm a real person. Like, this is not some kind of gimmick, because I'm the same person that I'm clicking on things too to see the scams and be like, oh, did the gummies really work? Let me see her picture. Like, I'm that person too, just like Amy and everybody else. But like, I'm a real person with real things going on in my life too, and nobody's perfect. And you just kind of got to get to the point where you say, enough is enough, and I'm ready to really commit and do this. I think that part would have inspired me to be like, she's doing it, not just, she's still in the progress, the process of it. It's not like, oh, it's been a year and it's done. It's just like, no, I'm actually still doing this, every single day. But it's just, you get to a point, something clicks, something has to click at some point. Like, for me, I knew 2022, I was just like, okay, no. Like, we let 2020 go. It was a wash for everybody. 2021 came. We still was kind of like, all right. And I was just like, not 2022. I can't let this year go by and still continue to do the same things I'm doing and wanting a change, So that was the part that that clicked for me. And, again, I feel like we were meant to meet. I was meant to see that post that day. And I was just like, I'm just going to DM her and respond and let me see what she says. And the thing was, too, it was kind of like, on the back of my head, I'm like, man, how much is this going to cost? But I was willing to pay it, though, because I was just like, I mean, as long as you ain't saying nothing crazy, but I was like, I'm willing to give that commitment, that monetary commitment, because I'm worth it. And when I say things like monetary commitment, I also want to speak on other things that I've done in my life on a professional setting. Like I told you, I joined a mentorship group, right? Yeah. And it's with a bunch of like marketing professionals. And to get into that group, you got to pay a certain amount of money for the year as well. So again, a lot of times people always want to do these things, right? And these quick fixes, but they don't want to pay for it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a businesswoman, people are businesses and you have to make money too, right? So while you paying these, $29.99 for these gummies every month, like you can get on a payment plan and pay it towards somebody that actually has your interest, and actually that you can speak to on a regular basis and connect with, and it's not through some virtual, robot that you don't even know, what's going on. It's an actual real person on the other side of the screen. So yeah, and I think that for me too was another thing that I learned, that if I want more for myself and I want to be in these spaces, sometimes I need to shell out some money for it. Everything can't be free. Everything can't be cheap. Everything can't be discounted. You have to give the money out. Whatever, if it's that much, if it's worth that much to you. So that's another thing that I was just like, I don't know what she's going to say, but
we're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. I'm going to make it work. I'm like, you need this all at once? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here, just take it. But yeah, if you can afford it and you can do it and you can make payment plans or whatever it is, I told you this in my last check-in, like this has been the easiest process for me to lose weight ever. And when I tell you, I've never thought I'd be this person saying these things or even doing this with you. Like, who am I right now? Like, what is this? Like, no, I'm not that person, right? I feel like, who am I? It really has been the easiest, less stressless process. I told you before, like, I remember every time I try to lose weight, it's me always, oh, what am I going to eat for my next meal? And, oh my God, it's 7 o'clock. I got to get to the gym after work. And then, I'm done at the gym at 9. And then it's an hour and a half for me on public transportation. I live in New York City. Get home at 10. Then it's like, well, let me take a shower. Should I eat? No, I don't want to eat because I was at the gym for 2 hours. So it was always having that like anxiety. Sorry, I don't know why this is like dark. It was always having that anxiety of, I don't know what to do next. Yeah, they say when you're not prepared, like you fail, or there's some kind of saying like that.
Yeah, plan to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yeah, and that's another thing I learned with the meal prep, right? Because I was just like, I'm just going to try to wing this here and there. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to eat for my next meal? What am I going to eat for my next meal? But like you said, it was just like, well, you buy a bulk of this protein and make different seasonings and season it with different seasonings, so you have a variety, and then you get your vegetable and whatever carb that you like. So yeah, this really has been the most easiest process in losing weight for me, and I think that just adds to my happiness and my consistency. And I couldn't tell you this is how I would be, and it's only been 3 months or so?
That's what I'm saying. If y'all are listening to this, it sounds like, I've been working with her for a year. Like, it's been a few months. Yeah. And this girl is killing it. And I just have to say, Whitney, I am so incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you. I mean, you have just seriously transformed yourself in every way, and honestly, to be able to witness it has really been an honor. Mm-hmm. It really, really has. I'm so glad that we met. It feels like divine alignment. We are friends, period. Yes. So don't worry about that part. But yeah, I just absolutely adore you. And I have to tell the audience that Whitney was someone who, which I told you guys on the last episode, that my baby passed away, my dog. She was almost 11 years old. And Whitney was so thoughtful to send me the most beautiful pillows with her pictures on it. Mm-hmm. This girl went on my Instagram and stole the pictures.
Yes,
and then had them put on. I had no idea. I found out later. Monique told me after I got them, like, oh yeah, she got the address. She forgot my address and sent. Oh my gosh! Mm-hmm. So I want to publicly thank you for that. I absolutely love them. They have a special place in my house right now. So
yeah, no, I was hoping. I remember I have a coworker I work with who has 2 dogs. And, a lot of times I don't know, I'm not close to people that have like dogs. And I said, well, what do you get somebody that, dog passed away? I was like, flowers? Like, but I wanted it to be something that you could cherish, not just like throw away when it dies, And she was like, I'd like that. And I was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. So then I went online and I Googled it, and these pillows came up, and I was like, yes, these pillows are so cute. They all had different sayings and everything like that. And I was like, I got to get her pictures. And I was like, I got to reach out to Monique to get this address. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know what it's like to lose a pet that you're really close to. And pets are like children. I definitely, especially when you've had them for a very long time, you treat them like babies, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know, like I said, when I had one of the check-ins and I heard your voice, and I was like, because he's like, yeah, Whitney. So
I
this
was
is
struggling.
Yeah, you was just like, hey, Whitney. And then I was like, hey, Whitney. So yeah, this week's check-in is, and I was just like, oh no, that's not how Cookie normally
It was bad, y'all. It was bad. You know, I had to go into this like monotone because when I did try initially to go, hey, you know, it was like, huh? So I had to go like, I feel nothing.
That's how it sounded.
You did this and this.
Yeah, it's like you had a great week. This week was great. I'm proud of you. And I was just like, oh, okay, no, this is not. I'm so happy for you. I'm like, this is not the Cookie that I know. And I was just like, yeah, I got to do something to, like, you know, cheer her up, let you know I was thinking about you. And, you know, I wanted you to have something that you could, like, hold on to and look at and, like, keep, you know, and, you know, hold on to if you need to and stuff like that. So, no, it's definitely no problem at all. I was happy to do it.
I greatly appreciate it. And just to go back real quick to what you were talking about with the depression and, you know, that whole, like, I'm at a place now where I can't do the fake, you know? So it's like, this is where I'm at. I got to get through these check-ins. And if I'm monotone, that's because I'm not going to sit here and, like, you know, hype myself up when that's not how I'm feeling.
You're right. And you're entitled to that. You know? You're definitely entitled to that.
So we keep it real around here.
Yeah.
We keep it real.
That was another thing, you know, with friends and in relationships. It's like, well, Whitney's always, you know, and it's just like, sometimes you don't want to be on, right? You don't want to be that person that everyone goes to help cheer them up. But you've been labeled that way by your circle and your people. And then when you're not, it's like, uh-oh, what's wrong? Something's wrong. What happened? She's not happy and jolly. And, you know, that's how people get. Even when I was in the office, it was just like, what's wrong with Whitney? She's not smiling today. What's happening? And I'm just like, I'm fine. Like, you know, like, I'm not a clown. Like, I'm not going to, you know, be on. Like, give me my 5% when I'm, like, not having a good day. You know, another thing I want to point out, too.
Yes.
Another thing that I had to really hone in on, too, was the difference between being depressed and sad, because I have only experienced happy, depressed, right? I don't know the middle ground of a sad day. Yeah. Anytime I felt feelings of getting sad, I was like, oh, it's happening again. It's happening again. It's happening again. Because I'm thinking I'm going to go to the extreme, right? I never knew what like a sad day was. So in all of this, I mean, I accept like my sad days because I definitely know the difference between when I'm depressed, when I'm sad. But before it was just like, oh no. Like I was terrified. I was like, I'm going backwards. So yeah, that was another thing that I also learned, that it's okay to have sad days, and there's a big difference between being sad and depressed. It's not the same thing at all. So that's another thing that I've been able to, you know, identify, that I definitely wouldn't have done that, you know, 10 years ago. I wouldn't have. Because I only knew two, you know.
Only know two extremes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And having a sad day, definitely, if you're in that mindset, can trigger you into a depression that wasn't even necessary.
It wasn't even there. Just making it up, getting all worked up for no reason. And it's just like, no, it's a sad day.
When you work up your nervous system like that, and listen, we'll talk about this on another podcast, but when you work up your nervous system like that, you really actually train your mind that that's what's going on. And so your body does actually go into fight or flight because you've triggered it. So be careful with your thoughts. You know, your thoughts can change everything. Yeah. So,
no, be nice to yourself. You know, be good, be gentle, be good, be patient. It helps. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I could talk to you all day.
I know. I'm like, y'all got to let us know. Please leave a comment, because I'm going to post this up everywhere. And if y'all want us to do a part 2, I think Whitney would come back, right?
Of course I'll come back. Okay. Anything for my cookie, yes.
Yay.
I would. I'm here trying to help other women who, you know, we're the same in a certain sense, right? We're all going through the same things and have feelings about the same things when it comes to weight loss. Like, we're all in the same boat. And like I said, we're not, you know, competing against each other. It's just you, yourself, and you, or, you know, me, myself, and I, people would say. So that's kind of how you gotta look at it and make the time for yourself. That's what it is. Please make the time for yourself. You stick to the program, it will do what it's supposed to do. And then you got Cookie to talk to also, so please, like, talk
to me whenever. Yes. Okay, wait. I gotta say one more thing, and then we have to be done.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
I'm not even talking anymore.
The last thing I want to say, just to anybody listening who's thinking, oh my gosh, Whitney's done all these things. She's so incredible. She got the body, yada, yada. Y'all, she has done all of this from home.
Yes.
No gym.
No.
I just need to be clear about that. No gym. What do you have at home? What do you have? Like, what's the extent of your equipment?
Oh, you know, Cookie's always like, you gotta get this, you gotta get this, gotta get this. So I'm like, all right. So I actually, I have weights. I have 5, 10, 15, and 20. I have the medicine ball. Is that what's called, the big one? Mm-hmm. Medicine ball, literally right over there. I have the bands, the cloth ones and the rubber ones. I think that's it that I have.
You have a mat?
Yeah, I have a mat. I have the what's the thing that you roll on?
Foam roller.
Yeah, I have that too. Got a, you know, Apple Watch. Well, I already had this. Yeah, water bottle. I think I might get another one. I think I might get that big one, the one that tells you, like,
with the times like on it.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of like that. Yeah, I got that. I got my little Google over here that plays my music when I'm working out. And you know, another thing,
what
also too that helps is see, this is what I do with my girlfriends too. We're like, all right, we're gonna hang out, and then we'll be on the phone for 2-3 hours.
Exactly.
No. This is the one thing I'm gonna tell you. This is one thing.
Okay.
No matter where you are in your journey, no matter where you are, get you some cute workout clothes.
Yes, I love this tip.
Okay? Please.
Yes.
Like, I'm telling you, like, the cute leggings and the matching sports bra or mixed match colors, and it really, like, helps. Like, I got this orange one that I've never worn before.
Baby, that was the one in your pictures? Yes. I said, oh my, I didn't even have to look at the previous photos to know there was a difference. I was like,
yeah. I'm telling you, cute workout clothes goes a long way. It just it builds that confidence. It makes you feel better about yourself. And yeah, cute workout clothes. Don't do the holy shirt and, like, you know, the
big t-shirt.
Yeah, the t-shirt. No, don't do that. I mean, I've done that before too.
The little loose shorts. Don't do it to yourself.
The bra that got you, you know, especially you got big chest.
Get you a good bra.
Yeah, flopping up and down.
Please get you a good bra so you can feel secure.
Yeah, I mean, because I hate that. I hate that flopping up and down, jumping jacks. I don't like that feeling at all. But yes, cute workout wear also helps.
Y'all, at this point, I'm going to just have to say bye, because otherwise, Whitney, she's not going to let us go. Listen, if you're still here, if you're still listening, you probably need to go to cookiemiller.com. I'm just saying.
Please do.
But no, seriously, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your vulnerability. I'm not going to be all, you know the word I'm looking for, because otherwise we're going to keep going. I'm not
we're not doing it anymore. I'm not even talking.
You're not even talking, because I'm about to do the outro. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Worth the Wait. Remember, if this episode or any of our episodes have helped you, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Thank you guys so much for joining me for season 2 of Worth the Wait. This is it. This is our grand finale. So we will be back in a few months. Make sure that you are subscribed, and make sure that you are also following us on Instagram at Worth the Wait Podcast. And I will see y'all for season 3. Bye.
Bye.